Hold on, stay strong. I know it hard, but hold on, keep your head up high and stay strong. Time gon' always fly by. I see that pain in your eye. Need someone by your side. You keep asking God why. I know it hard, but hold on, keep your head up high and stay strong. Time gon' always fly by. I see that pain in your eye. Need someone by your side. You keep asking God why. Pain don't last that long. Life forever go on. You need someone by your side. I see that pain in your eye. You keep asking.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us for today's edition of Immunity Out Loud, where we give voice to those diagnosed and living with a autoimmune disease. Our special guest today is Mr. Tony Williams. Tony has a great story for us of his journey, and we are so very excited to hear it. My name is Kimberly. I'll be hosting today, and please stay around for Tony's awesome story. So good morning, Tony. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Kim. I'm doing very well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm great. Hey, just give us a little bit of background about yourself. What do you do? You have children, married, single? Who is Tony?
So, Tony is a single African American man that grew up in Hale County on the farm with my grandparents. Um, I don't have any kids particularly, but I have four godkids who mean everything to me. So even though I didn't produce them, but they're just like I did. So. Um, I'm a flight attendant with United Airlines, so I travel for work. Um, I spent 8 years in the Army. I'm a trained chef. I was in the Cordon Bleu. So
Wow.
there's a lot to me. So yeah.
Wow. Very much so. And, just even all those accolades you just named, all those things that you're doing, being a flight attendant is a very physical job. Being a chef is very physical. And your diagnosis, most people would think a person with the diagnosis wouldn't do that. So mentioning your diagnosis, why don't you tell us what autoimmune disease you've been diagnosed with?
So initially in 2000, I think it's 2014, I had gotten from my doctor. Noticed that my RA factors were elevated. So we did the blood test, and it came back the same. And she suggested I see a specialist. So I saw a specialist in Birmingham, and we. One of the good thing about that day I went to visit him, I was in the midst of a flare up. I mean, if you saw me, you would thought I was 100 years old the way I was walking and moving.
Well,
My ankles were swollen, all my joints were swollen. So it was, and I had been living with that probably for a few years, but never really realized what it was. I thought it was just something I was doing. So I went to see him, and initially he said that you have signs of RA. He says you're the typical RA patient, with the joint swelling and the pain. Um, and so I saw him, and we did blood work that day, and he gave me steroids to take. I did a treatment of steroids, and he also gave me an Enbrel injection, a sample of that, and I was doing that. And so I saw him every couple of weeks, probably for 6 months, until the symptoms and the pain kind of subsided. So I was on a treatment of Enbrel and Plaquenil for about 2 years,
mm,
and that kept things pretty good. So that's kind of how I got diagnosed. But then my diagnosis changed about a year and a half ago. I was living out in LA, and I went to see a rheumatologist there because I had a flare up. And we did the same blood work, and my RE factors never went up higher, and the rheumatoid factor never changed. So one of the good things about this doctor is that he teaches at UCLA, and he teaches in the rheumatology department. And fibromyalgia is something that he's been studying for many years. And he said that I am the classic case of fibromyalgia.
Wow.
And one of the strange things about it that most men do not have fibromyalgia. So I know my mother has it. So
Okay.
those are my
Wow.
diagnoses. Yeah.
So, how did you feel about the 2 years you spent having treatment for rheumatoid arthritis when you actually had fibromyalgia?
I was okay with it because the pain was not there. So
Okay.
I was comfortable. I had the medication. It was working until it stopped working.
Okay.
So I mean, I appreciate the help I got before the other diagnosis. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So, tell us a little bit about what do you feel in your body? What are some of the unique characteristics that you deal with fibromyalgia?
So my main symptoms are achy joints, um, all of them, from my ankles to my fingers.
Mm,
Stiffness in my neck, and I also have the digestive problem as well. There are times that I could drink milk and eat all kind of dairy. I have no issues, but then there's a time when it just kind of destroys my body. Um,
mm.
then I have insomnia sometimes. I can't sleep. Um, so just I have the basic symptoms of fibromyalgia. Just completely not content with anything. Everything hurts.
Okay, so at this time, the treatment that the doctor has for you now, is that working well for you?
And the thing about it with I guess that's another part of my story. Um, Most of the medication that they can give you for pain to help, I cannot take those.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
in 2011, I donated a kidney, and so I can't take any of the NSAIDs medications, and those are the ones that really help with the pain, with the inflammation. So my care is basically changing my diet, um, changing a complete lifestyle change. That's what is recommended for me.
And so clearly that's been working for you. Are you currently, well, I don't know what's going on with COVID and whatnot. Are you currently working as a flight attendant right now?
I'm still employed, thankfully. I'm based in Washington D.C., so I fly to D.C. every week for 3 or 4 days and sit in case they need me. I haven't
Okay,
actually worked on an airplane since May.
okay. So with what you're doing concerning your diet and I'm sure exercise, this is what's keeping your pain away, or at least keeping it manageable to where you can actually function.
I'm hard headed like most people. I eat right when I'm in pain, but normally I don't follow directions very well when it comes to eating properly and staying away uh, from dairy and the nightshade plants. I love tomatoes. I love green peppers. I love all of those things that I'm not supposed to have. So when it gets bad enough, then yes, I go there.
We appreciate your honesty. I think all of us have some of that in us. So, Tony, how does your diagnosis, how does your illness, your ailment, how does it affect you on a daily basis? Whether that be your family life or just, your activities or what you like to do on a daily basis? How are you affected? How's the autoimmune disease affecting you?
I can't jump out of bed and immediately do something. So there's a process of getting up. I have to get up and I move slowly in the morning time. So it's I and sometimes I'm unable to do a lot of things because I'm in pain. Um, I can't run anymore because it hurts to run. I've tried doing those high intensity weight training classes. I could do it for 2 days and that's it. So, my mornings are very slow. I wake up and, I really have to stretch. I really have to, psych myself up to get out of bed sometimes.
Yeah, we talked about that with our previous guest, and we talked a lot about self-care and things that you just have to do for yourself um, in order to just keep going and not choose to stay in bed all day. So
Right,
what do you
right.
think you do mentally? I know you just said you psych yourself up, but what else do you do to just make sure that you keep moving and don't sit still and stop moving?
I just do it because I don't want the end results of it. I don't want it to be to where I'm completely, you know, broken down where I can't do anything. So I keep moving. I keep keep doing things that I like to do. So
So just the knowing the chance that you could actually be to where you can't move at all, you have to keep moving. That's what's motivating you.
right.
So could you give those listening some best practices um, for someone dealing with fibromyalgia, some best practices for things that they can do or should be doing to lessen their pain or to ease their day?
I realize that stretching is one of the best things that you can do. If you learn some great stretching techniques, that wakes the body up, and then, especially the muscle pain. Stretching really helps the muscle pain. Um, Eat right. You gotta follow that diet. That's the most important. I am now taking dairy out of my diet, which is really hard because I love yogurt. You know, um, and I love cream in my tea. So I'm trying to change that. I have almond milk now that I'm drinking in my tea. So I'm trying to make the changes because I don't want it to completely affect my life.
Well, awesome, awesome. Well, Tony, we are so grateful for your time today, and we are definitely, praying for you and all those that are dealing with autoimmune diseases and illnesses. And just thank you so much for your time. And was there anything else that you'd like to add?
No, thank you for having me.
Autoimmune attacking the system. I'm trying to give Wilson. These diseases killing. Stay strong with a positive feeling. Lupus attacking the joints. Like a scoreboard with points. Wanna have fun at your bun.